Hey, what's going on, guys? Coach James here from Orange Theory Gresham out in Oregon. I'm here to bring you Friday the 15th 2,000 meter row benchmark, an endurance day from start to finish. It's our last opportunity for members to make an impression on 2023, maybe set a new PR for themselves as they enter into the new year. So without further ado, let's get into it. Your 3G setup first. Now, right at the top of our template, you're gonna notice a unique setup with warm-ups today. The treadmills get their chance in base, weight floor gets their dynamic movements. The rowers are gonna have a set warm-up that we need to make sure we go through and demo out. A 250 meter base row, followed by 2 bodyweight exercises. It's gonna help those fast twitch muscles and stabilizers so they're mechanically ready for that big distance to hit. Now, one thing to make note of within that, it's only for the first group. So your initial rowers that enter the room, they're gonna get that unique warm up. As you start to make transitions, you can kind of put it to the side, have them adjust foot plates, maybe a little bit of a rhythm to facilitate recovery. But that unique warm up, again, is only for that first group that starts the day. With the treadmills kicking in first, their 13-minute block, they will have a quarter-mile push, power walkers 0.13 at 5 or greater, followed by a 1-minute recovery. This is a bit of a rinse and repeat opportunity as they establish their initial push intensities. Their goal is to essentially match or beat as they move on, eventually leading into a 30-second all-out finisher. One note to make as well, there should be cards printed and set aside the day before. That way, when, of course, the day kicks in, the treadmills have that visual for them as they go through their block. When we get to our rowers, of course, being the highlight of the day, the 2,000 meter row, we would want to break down kind of the how to and why behind this effort. We don't want to just give them the countdown, say go, and watch them complete 2,000 meters. Most members will finish in that 6 to 10 minute range, but a nice breakdown, at least how I enjoy communicating this, is utilizing split time. It's a huge factor. Watts and strokes per minute are a huge play inside of our room. Split time has its uniqueness inside of longer distance rows, whether it be distance or time, in this case 2,000 meters, of course. Now, with their first 500 meters, encourage your members to establish their rhythm. That's going to take a couple of minutes as they drive with the legs, right? Lean back, core engages, and that handle comes all the way into the chest. And then their middle 1,000 is going to be more consistency play, right? Maintaining rhythm and really mentally challenging themselves to take on that physical feat, as they may have a ±1 in that split time, but staying as close to the mark as possible with that middle chunk. And of course, your final 500 meters, we start to ramp things up, quicken our pace, maybe start to shave off a little bit of time into that final 100 meters. It's all out, foots to the floor, and finishing strong with everything they got. Now, when they finish their 2,000 meters, we'll have the opportunity to make sure they plug in their finishing times on the challenge tracker. And there is a bonus. We're gonna facilitate recovery with a bodyweight exercise and a base row. When they get there, rinse and repeating for time, again, until that finisher comes in, 30-second all-out row, if they have anything left to give towards the end. Now, the weight floor side, moving into a circuit, they're gonna have an opportunity to kind of work at their own pace, a combination of body weight movements, TRX, and just a couple of dumbbell exercises, all sitting at 10 reps. A big communication here for your weight floors, not to go too crazy. What they're gonna be working on, again, is a lot of stabilizing movements as they kind of prepare their body for their giant benchmark of 2,000 meters, whether it's their second or third rotation in the room. We don't wanna go too crazy. The mentality is all about the setup as they transition. On the 2G side, as we kind of move into that other 60-minute section, you'll notice a lot of the features are the same. They're just going to be rearranged throughout the room. So it is a switch template. They'll be bouncing back and forth a couple of times. You'll notice the rowers have that same unique setup, 250 in base, 2 movements to follow up with. Again, that is only for this first group that initially starts and walks into the room before they go into their 2,000 meter row. Break it down, tell them how and why, your 5, your 1,000, your 5, and then you'll notice their bonus looks a little bit different. They're actually gonna find themselves on the treadmill, finishing their 2,000 meter row with a 0.1 tread. Power walkers will have that 0.05 at about 1% or greater, and 30 seconds to recover, rinsing and repeating throughout that bonus time. I'd encourage you to communicate to your members that probably shouldn't be anything more than base, to be quite honest with you. Again, it's about recovery. They're gonna have another block to come right after that. On the treadmill side, this is a unique pairing for us. We get our treadmills and weight floor combination. It's seldom we see that. So communicating with their buy-in on the treads, a 0.3 mile push. Power walkers get that 1.5 at 5 or greater. And again, it's a buy-in. They're just gonna do it once before they head down to the weight floor, where they'll have a circuit setup, setting their own pace, 10 reps apiece with their combination of TRX, dumbbell, and bodyweight movements. And it's all with the mentality of prepping for the benchmark. Again, big communication. We're not trying to go too crazy out of the gate. Save it for that 2,000 meters. When both groups find those 2 completed efforts, they'll go back to their starting stations and move into their technical first tread block and weight floor block. So on the treadmills, as they continue throughout that 2G format, they'll see a 30-second push and a 90-second base, 3 rounds before they move into their all-out finisher for a full minute, establishing their push and kind of increasing with that similar theme in the 3G setting. And then on the weight floor side, they'll continue with another set of circuit rounds and working on those stabilizers a little bit more. When they find themselves coming to the finisher, they have a choice between a high or a low plank, so the hands or the forearms, that is up to them. But it's gonna be a solid, hard-hitting 60 minutes. Bring the energy, encourage your members. It's not an easy feat, 2,000 meters. And with one more chance, again, to kind of make that last impression of the year, we definitely wanna make sure we're doing everything we can to set our members up for success so that they have a good time during that hour that we have them under the lights.